Cheruiyot, beside the politics, I saw you with the Senate committee in Eastleigh, trying to salvage some of the lands that are being grabbed there. And what I fail to understand is the fact that we hear that this is primarily under the nose of NMS.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It's a very sad story, and maybe it's something that that should shock actually the nation back to its consciousness. I know there are many evil things that happen in Kenya, but this is one particular disturbing story because basically what we did as a committee on devolution, we were responding to a statement that had been sought from us by nominated Senator Millicent Omanga, bringing to the attention of the Senate that there are 2 or 3 parcels of land that have all been grabbed mafia style. And it involved a very intricate web that involves the police, rogue land officials at Nairobi City County offices.
Even after digitizing, all the
NMS. And basically what happens is that when they target a particular parcel of land, they come up and put up a notice and say this is a police, this land belongs to the police. And in between the dispute, one day they just show up at night and they kick out everybody. And of course the citizens will not really be aggrieved towards this because the debate will be, if it's police, it's government. But actually the truth of the matter is that it turns out in a few weeks or months that it's not actually the police, but land grabbers who are using police officers, because the land that you saw us in Eastleigh is a land that belonged to Nairobi Water Company, Water and Sewerage Company. Employees of that company used to live there, I think, from the year 2000. These were houses that were built by the World Bank to house employees of Nairobi City Water Company. It used to be a bigger parcel of land because we were later shown and told that actually even the high-rise buildings that you were seeing in that particular place are parcels of that land that were grabbed in small bits. Therefore, this final one was a final kick, actually, of what used to be land that belonged to Nairobi City Water. And it is land that was grabbed mafia style. People just received a notice while they were still counter-checking. Of course, the officials, including the CEO of Nairobi City Water, were threatened and told, what is yours that you want to claim there? Because Nairobi City Water, under the transition authority, surrendered all its assets to Nairobi City County because that's under the arm of a county government. So the titles are actually with the Nairobi City County. How they changed hand from that particular owner to the private developer who wants to put up the apartments that are there is something that as a committee will
who's the private developer?
There are rumors that they are some are staff of the county government of Nairobi, and they're powerful individuals, including what is it called, some members of a county assembly that are involved in this, because they were all mentioned and the people knew them. A little bit further down, if you're familiar with the geography of Eastleigh,
I am familiar. I grew up actually in Eastleigh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you moved down the road to Pumwani.
I was born in Pumwani.
Yes.
Myself.
So now, people like you who are born in Pumwani should be very passionate about this, because what has happened in Pumwani is that all doctors' houses, you'd remember that this was a well-planned, Nairobi was properly planned. It's only us who've later on come to mess it up. So all the major or the main doctors actually, given that you understand a maternity works 24 hours, sometimes there's need for a doctor to be called back if there's an emergency with a patient and that kind. So there are a number of housing units that belong to the doctors. Unfortunately, first of all, those houses have been run down. They're in a dilapidated condition. But now, to add insult to injury, those houses have finally been grabbed by private developers. And slowly by slowly, if you move in, you'll see that there are people who are pretending to run garages, but they're just a face for people who have already bought off those properties. There's even a petrol station that has been put up by a private developer or land grabber. And the people that are being mentioned are fairly powerful in the country, people who you'd expect that they'd use their positions to safeguard. What you'd be expecting is that the county should be renovating these houses. And the beauty is that they are fairly prime and big parcels of land, as such that if the county was to set aside a few, couple of 100 millions,
yes,
they'd build high-rise apartments where a majority of those doctors and nurses can actually live. And it's on big land. Unfortunately, that has also been grabbed. The entire length of what used to be the doctors' houses. And I plead with people of goodwill, especially even because media plays an important role, to continue highlighting this story. Every time you see Governor Anne Kananu, let her be put to question. Every time you see the DCI, let them answer to this. Every time you see the IG,
yes,
because the police are being mentioned in a big way as being, especially the OCPD for Buruburu and the OCPD for Pumwani and Eastleigh, that on many occasions they are part of, they accompany actually these land grabbers to come and pull this repossession exercise. Of course, the hospital, without the goodwill and the support of the local leadership, then they would make any particular headway. The people who are running for governor of Nairobi, I want to see them make a public pledge that they will repossess all the doctors' houses of Pumwani,
yes,
and actually build decent houses for the doctors and nurses of Pumwani who can live there, because there's sufficient land and the money is there to be able to put up a good and decent housing. So basically that's what we are going to do in Pumwani and Eastleigh.
Thank you. Right, good to know what is happening.